we'll do some practice, some hands-on practice on its cases. So the first case which we are going to discuss here is a case of maximization. A maximization case where you will find all the constraints of less than equal to inequality. Now the generic form of this will be in this manner. Maximize the z function x1 x2 different variables, and it may go up to n, and this z function, this objective function, is subjected to some constraints. These constraints may go to m numbers, a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus a1 n xn. Similarly, it may go to different labels, 1 2 3 4, and different constraints. Now this maximization problem will be a generic one if it satisfy two conditions, and these two conditions are that all the variables must be non-negative, and each constraint as a linear expression is less than or equal to a non-negative constant. So you will find the constraint in this manner. To solve this problem in a maximization case where we have less than equal to inequality, we follow few steps, and I would like to demonstrate the steps with a practical problem. So we are going to take a problem. This problem is taken from a book from your Professor J.K. Thukral Business Mathematics book. So the question says that a firm makes two types of furniture. A firm makes two types of furnitures, chairs and tables. The profit per unit are 20, 30. This is per chair and this is per table. So the two types of furniture are chair and table. Now these two products are processed on three machines. So there are three machines, and these three machines are M1, M2 and M3. And these chair and tables need to process through these machines for a given time, which is mentioned as follows in the below matrix, and the matrix goes like this: machine M1, M2, M3, chair, table and available time. So this is the constraint: 3, 5 2 3 2 6 36 50 hours and 60 hours. The question is, how should the manufacturer schedule his production in order to maximize profit through simplex method? Solve through simplex method. So this is going to be a full-fledged question. This question is taken from the book Professor J.K. Chokral. So this is a maximization problem. You are supposed to maximize, you are given to maximize the profit. So the Z function is going to be a profit function, and the constraints are given in the form of available time per machinery. So the first step is going to be the formulation of equations, formulation of linear equations. So let us assume x and y be the number of chairs and tables respectively. So Z function will become Z is equal to profit function. Profit is given as 20 per unit for chair and 30 per unit for table. So this is going to be a 20 x plus 30 y, and this is subject to constraints. These constraints are these. So hours spent by chairs on M1 will be 3. So if we produce x chairs, so it will be 3x. Then on table it will be 3y, and this should be less than or equal to 36. It cannot go beyond this 36. Similarly for this machine 2 also, and this machine 3 also. So the three constraints are given like this: 3x plus 3y less than equal to 36, 5x 2y less than equal to 50, 2x plus 6y less than equal to 60, and in addition to these constraints there is a constraint of non-negativity. So the first step is done. We have formulated the equation. The next step is going to convert step 2, step 1. Step 2 is going to convert inequalities into equalities, and this can be done by introducing the slack variable. So we introduce the slack variables. The economic inefficiency, the underutilization of resources, this will be compensated by introducing this slack variable. So the step 2 is going to introduce this slack variable, and we have three constraints. So here we are going to introduce three different slack variables. S1, S2 and S3 for each constraint. So we'll restate the problem. We'll restate the problem like maximize z 20x plus 30y plus 0s1 plus 0s2 plus 0s3, and this will be subject to constraints. These constraints are 3x plus 3y plus s1 is equal to 36. So the underutilization has been compensated in the first constraint by s1. 5x plus 2y plus s2 is equal to 50. 2x plus 6y plus s3 is equal to 60, and with these there are non-negative, all greater than equal to 0. So these are the constraints now: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now in the objective function we can see the coefficient attached to these slack variables, these are 0 as they are not contributing anything to the objective function. Now next step is going to be setting up the initial basic feasible solution. So this is about initial basic feasible solution. So we'll choose these slack variables as our basic variables and we'll put all the non-basic variables as 0. So if we put slack variables s1, s2 and s3 as our basic variables, so the non-basic variables which are x and y are going to be 0. So when we put x and y is equal to 0, we get the values for s1, s2 and s3. So by putting the values of x equal to 0 in these constraints, see, putting these values as 0, we get the value of s1 as 36, the 0 value of s2 as 50, the 0 value of s3 as 60. So what we are going to do here is we will make a table which is your simplex table and we'll mark it as simplex table 1. Why? Because in future if we do not reach to the optimum solution in the table 1 of the simplex, then we need to prepare a second table of simplex. So stay with us and your table will look like this. This is your simplex table 1. In the left hand side we'll make a CG abroad column. This is going to be the coefficient and we'll define what are these once I finish this table. This is basic variable. This is solution column. So solution, and here the complete objective function as x, y, s1, s2, s3 and a ratio column. Here the coefficient of these variables in the objective function 20, 30, 0, 0, 0. So let me just beautify this table for you. Alright. So just give me a minute. This is coefficient, this is solution column, this is non-basic, these are the values of the variables. At last we have this ratio column. So this is your first simplex table. It must look good. Alright, so we are about to begin with this simplex table. Now in the CJ column, we'll write, first of all we'll write the basic variables, and our basic variables are S1, S2, S3, and we see the coefficient of these S1, S2, S3 in the objective function is 0, 0 and 0, 0, 0 and 0, and solution is the values by putting non-basic variables as 0. So in the first constraint you see x and y 0, so S1 is your 36, it is your S2 is your 50, this one, and S3 as 60. Now we are going to write the coefficient of constraints in these columns. So S1 is in the first constraint, and we write the coefficient of x as 3, y as 3, S1 as 1, S2 0, 0. Similarly, for the second constraint, coefficient of S2 is 5, for y is 2, and for S1 it is 0, for S2 it is 1. For S3 in the third constraint, you see that coefficient of x is 2, 6, 0, 0 and 1. So one thing to notice here is that you get a diagonal matrix. This is identity matrix. So this is going to be there in the first table. Now your next step is to find out Zj. Now what is this Zj? You multiply this 36 with 0, then add the multiplication of 50 with 0, then add the multiplication of 60 with 0, and you end up getting a 0 here. Similarly, all these values will do accordingly, 3 with 0, 5 with 0. So ultimately, since the multiplier is 0, you get all the values as 0 here. Next thing is we calculate the difference between Cj and Zj. So for this you see that 20 minus 0 is 20, 30 minus 0 is 30, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. Now when the value in this Cj minus Zj becomes 0 or negative, it means that the optimal solution is arrived. But we see that there are positive values in the Cj minus Zj row. So what we'll do here is we'll replace the values. So we find that the highest value in Cj minus Zj is this one. So we mark it as a key column. So this column becomes your key column. Then we calculate the ratio. How? We calculate the ratio by dividing the solution with the respective element in the key column. So we see that 36 is the solution divided by value in the key column will give you 36 divided by 3, which is your 12. Again 50 divided by 2, because the respective value here is 2, which is 25, and 60 divided by 6, which is 10. So we took the highest value here is maximum value to find out the key column, and we'll take the minimum value in the ratio column to identify the key row. So now we have key row, this one, and we have key column, this one. So where these two are intersecting will become your key item or key value. So 6 has become your key number. Now we will replace this s as basic variable with y. So now y become your basic variable and s3 will become your non-basic variable. And since we have not achieved the optimal solution in the first table, we'll make another table which will be your simplex table number 2. Moving to the other page, now we are going to make a simplex table 2. So we have not achieved the solution yet, so we are making simplex table number 2. Again, this is going to be your Cj, this is going to be your basic variable, this is going to be your solution, and then your Zj values, coefficients. X will be there, y, s1, s2, s3, then ratio column, let me add symmetry to my table. So we see that the coefficients in the z function is given, so these are going to be same. One thing here is now the basic variables are changed. Initially these were s1, s2 and s3, but s3 is replaced now with y, and so the solution is changed. So we look at this, how this solution is changed. But for s1 it was 6, for s2 it was 30, the Cj were 0, 0. For now we need to calculate the values. How we will drive this table 2? This is going to be a bit calculative, as we need to calculate some values in this for this table. So we will make another section which will be your derivation of table 2. How? Now there are 2 points, the transformation of the key row and the transformation of non-key rows. So this was your key row and the other were your non-key rows. So first we will make the transformation of the key row. How the key row will get transformed? Now we will replace the key row with a new row of y. So we have replaced the s3 with y, and the entries for the y row will be obtained by dividing each entry of the key row by the key number. So by dividing the each entry, so you see that each entry in this part will be divided by the key number. So the key number here is 6 and each value will get divided by this 6. So for y you will get here 10, here let me use another color pen. Okay, so this is 60 by 6, 10, this is 2 by 6, means it is 1 by 3. 6 by 6 will give you 1, 0, 0 and 1 by 6. So I have got the values for new key row. So these values are going to be your 10, 1 by 3, 1, 0, 0 and 1 by 6. Now second point is transformation of non-key row. Transformation of non-key row. So these two rows are non-key rows. कैसे करना है? So there is a formula for this, and the formula says that new non-key row is going to be old non-key row minus key column entry multiplied by new key row. So this formula we are going to use, and we'll see how we do it. So for S1, for this particular basic variable, we see that old non-key row value was, your old non-key row value was 36 minus key column entry. So the key column was this one and entry in this column was 3. So if you calculate the value of S1 for all the elements in this one S1 row, you will see that this value is going to be same for S1 especially. This is going to be 3. It's the entry in the key column. So this is multiplied by new key row. So the new key row here is this value. This is 10. So what you get is 6, and we see that this 6 has been posted very comfortably here. Again we will do the calculation for rest of the values. So for this value, we see the old non-key row was, three. The old non-key row was 3 minus item in the key column, which is 3, multiplied by the new key value. So new key value is 1, 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 multiplied by 3 will give you 1, and the value here is going to be your 2. Similarly for y it is 0, it is 1, it is 0, it is minus 1 by 2. For S2 we are going to make calculations accordingly according to the same formula, as it is a non-key row, and we get the value like 13 divided by 3, 0, 0, 1, and for S3 it is minus 1 by 3 again. So now we will calculate our ZJ value. So the ZJ becomes 6 by 0, 0, 6, 13 to 0, 0, and for your y the coefficient was 30. So 10 into 30 will give you 300. ZJ become 300. Similarly for 2 into 0, 0, 13 by 3 into 0, 0, 1 by 3 into 30 will give you 10. Accordingly you will find the values of rest of the variables. Now the time is to calculate Cj minus Zj. So 20 minus 10 will give you 10, 30 minus 30 will give you 0, 0, 0. So this is 5, and this will be your minus 5. So again we see that there are values which are positive in the Cj minus Zj column. So it means that still we have not arrived at the optimal solution. So what we'll do, we'll make another table which will be your simplex table 3. But before making the simplex table 3, we need to identify the key column and key row and the respective key element. So the highest value in this Cj minus Zj is your 10. So the key column is this one. Now you have this key column. Can we calculate the key row? Yes, of course. We need to calculate the ratio first. How we calculate the ratio? This is your 6 by 2. We divide the solution by key column value 30 by 13 by 3. So this is your 30 by 13 by 3 will give you around, this will go up, and this, okay, this is 90 by 13, and this is your 30. 10 upon 1 by 3 will give you 30. So the minimum value here is your 6 by 2, which is 3. So we have the key column, we have the key row. So your key number is 2. So we have the key row, we have the key column, we have the key number. Can we make simplex table 3? Yes. So let us look, can we get the solution in the third table, simplex table 3. Again, Cj, basic variable, solution x, y, s1, s2, s3, ratio, in the Cj you see that. So now your basic variable is x and s2 remains there. Since the key row was this one, so this was replaced by x as the key column was this. So when we look back, we see that the key column was this, key row was this. So x will replace your s1. So slack variable is now replaced by the 1. So now these basic variables are x, s2 and y, and the coefficients are also already given: 20, 30, 0, 0, 0. Again 20, 0, 30. Solutions. Okay, so we know the non-key rows and key rows. So the key row was this one, so this will get transformed by dividing by your key element. So the values will become your 3, 1, 0, 1 by 2, 0, minus 1 by 4. So now for this simplex table 3, I suppose you can make the calculations, and it is your homework to work on this and to calculate for table 3. I am just going to put here the numbers. For S2, this is your, these two rows here are your non-key rows. These two rows are your non-key rows. So for non-key row, you have to apply the formula, and the formula was old non-key row minus key column entry multiplied by new key row. So you get the values here. The values are 17 and 9. For every element in this row, you do the same formula for S2. So the solution here is this is your 0, 1 minus 1 by 6, 0 and 1 by 4. Next step is to calculate the zj, your objective function. So 3 into 20 plus 17 into 0 plus 9 into 30 will give you 330, and we can see that this 330 is higher than the previous table zj value, which was 300. It means your profit is increasing. And this is 20, 30, 5, 0, 5 by 2. When we calculate cj minus zj, we see that this is 0, this is 0, this is minus 5, and this is 0, this is minus 5 by 2. So now we can see that all the values in this cj minus zj row is either 0 or negative. It means that now we have achieved our optimal solution, and the maximum value of z is your 330, this value, and it is achieved when your x was equal to 3 and y is equal to 9, and your slack variables s2 as equal to 17, s1 is equal to 0, and s3 is equal to 0. So these are the figures which we have achieved, which we have reached in the optimal solution scenario. So class, this was the end of part 2. In the next